welcome back to another episode of Who Am I to Judge podcast. I'm Alexis.
And I am Samantha. Welcome back, everybody. Oh, let me turn my TV on.
Hello, hello, hello.
I'm like listening to waves in the background. I'm like, let me turn my TV off.
I didn't even hear it. How are you?
I'm cool. I am alive, just getting through day by day. Sometimes I just feel like it's I wake up and it's a whirlwind. I don't know what the day's going to hold, but I'm
So what did you do today?
I worked today. I have been taking this is like kind of TMI, but I've been just having some issues with my digestive system, and I started taking this probiotic that I had a subscription for a while. And so that stuff, it's called Seed. They need to they can give us a shout out if they want, but it will really get you moving. Like it's supposed to like the probiotics survive in your stomach for long enough so they can really do its job. So yeah, I've been just, in and out of the bathroom. Weirdly, Jupiter has been he has not gone outside all day today, because every time I try to take him outside, he runs under the couch. And so I'm like, I don't know what's going on with him.
You better than me. The way I would have been dragging Mello out the couch, with the leash, I
mean, it's not like he's gonna pee on any. He hasn't used the bathroom. I'm like, are you okay? Are you feeling sick? Whatever. But yeah, we're gonna go out after this. But yeah, he has had the opposite day where he has not. He's eaten, but he has not.
He struggled up. He's like, nope.
Yeah, he's under the couch right now. It's just so weird. All my usual tricks to be like, all right, we're going out today. We're about to go out. He's like, I see what you're trying to do, and I'm not going. So I don't know what's going on with him.
That's hilarious.
But
all of my tricks, I don't even play tricks with Mello anymore. After the fourth month of having her, I was just like, if she didn't move, I would literally just go to her and pick her up and move. I'm not fucking waiting on your ass. We have too much to do. I have to make it to class, or we have to go here.
Yeah. I mean, he's lucky that I'm working from home. I'm also just working from home today. So it's just all right, you don't want to go out? We're going to go out we're going to go out at some point today. I'm like, it's Earth Day. I'm like, I want to go outside. I didn't even know that. Well, anyways, how are you? I know you just made the long drive.
Today's been a long day.
That was so quick, though.
I did get here quick. It been a long day. I woke up at 5:30 because I had a workout class at 6:30 at Maryland. So I went to Maryland for it. That was the only, because I knew I wasn't going to get back for my 12 o'clock one.
What workout was in Maryland?
Crunch. They have a crunch. So okay. I go to Crunch there, and then I immediately came home, had to play with Mello, take her out. We played fetch. Then I had work. I worked until then they called my car to come and get my car because I got it fixed this weekend. So I then went to pick up the car. When I got home, my mom was there, and it was all right, let's pack the car, let's go. So it's been go, go, go. I got here, I fed the dogs, I went on a walk, ate my dinner. You texted me during my dinner, and then I was like, all right, let's go. Later, I was 10 minutes later, we're on. It has been a day of no rest, so I'm excited to chill later.
What are you gonna do hang out with chill Julia. Time later?
Hang out with Julia, talk to Julia. Are you gonna
watch something?
I don't even know if I just want to laugh. So I mean, it's I don't even know if I want to focus on anything.
You just want to talk and laugh.
Yes, I just want to talk and have together alone time. Maybe she'll play her Switch and I'll play.
I thought you were about to say play the guitar.
No, she does have a guitar.
I know she has a guitar. Yeah.
I know, but I feel like it's too loud. I don't want to play that.
You don't want to hear that right now. You're hilarious.
But yeah, it's just been a busy day. But I am happy to talk to you, and
yes,
it's some sunshine to a interesting weekend. But
yeah,
let's get to it.
You love to yell in our ear.
I do. I know there's some people listening that are just like, shut up.
I know. We got, this is like kind of funny, might take this out. We got like a 3-star review on Apple Music. I was like, on Apple Podcasts, and I was like, I texted to Danielle, and she sent the GIF that's like, hater, like from That's So
What did they like?
We don't know. They didn't write anything. They just said 3.
I mean, the fact that they even listened is funny.
So now we have a 4.9.
Whatever.
So you guys give us some good reviews, y'all. They're trying to come for us. Like, no, I'm just kidding.
So who's on? Are you gonna ask me or should I ask you?
We can, yeah. You can ask me, but we can like say it together because honestly don't know.
Trial, Samantha.
Oh, so we have to talk about the football tight end Shannon Sharpe. I just saw that because I went
Shannon Sharpe
to his Google page. I did not know he was a tight end.
It's funny because I realized I only found out who he was like probably 5 years ago. Yeah, my mom is an avid ESPN watcher. And so he used to be on him and Skip Bayless used to have a show together before they had a falling out. And
that is where I know him from as well.
Yeah, my mom just watches it all the time. But basically, his ex, who is a Jane Doe in a lawsuit, is seeking $50 million in damages for claims of assault, sexual assault, sexual battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress after multiple alleged non-consensual sexual encounters in her Las Vegas apartment between October and January. So that's obviously devastating.
Where are you getting this news from? I'm just curious.
Los Angeles Times by Chuck Sheik and their staff writer. And obviously that's like crazy, but I feel like the thing that has been blowing up Black TikTok is that in response to this lawsuit, Shannon Sharpe has like released some of the text messages between them. And the text messages are extremely disturbing. I'm going to, if I can, read you the text messages that he
they're only texts from her. We don't have his response.
No.
And in these texts, he reveals her name. She was a Jane Doe in the circle.
So her name is actually Gabriella Zuniga. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. So this is what she said. I want to put my tongue in your... What the fuck is that? It starts with an A. Ass? And then marry you? Alexis. And then marry you? She said, that's my daddy. I want you to... I'm going to read them, okay? That's my daddy. I want you to put a big black baby in me. You better crave it because you're gonna be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me.
Oh my God. Stop saying
so sorry. And then there's one more I want to read because I like saw it and I was like,
baby gravy. That one.
Yes, the baby. It's like
ew.
Hold on, let me move over because where is that one? Like it's okay. That's what I want to text me. There's more, and I'm like can't find the other one. But she says something about having putting baby gravy in her, like for a big black baby, meaning like he wants her to come. Sorry, she wants him to come in her.
Okay, Alexis.
Here we go. I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're fucking me. I know you miss this big juicy ass. $25K for each cheek. And then talking about, like I said, baby gravy. So a lot of people have been talking about this because it's just clear that it's like on some weird race play kink that's happening here because of people are assuming the person is not. Yeah, there's a lot of kinks. People are.
That is part of it.
But people are assuming she's not black because no black woman would be like big. We just keep talking about big black baby. Like there's a fetish with like the having a black baby, which is typical around.
And there was also a voice. People. I don't know if you heard that.
I did.
I'm like, that girl was white.
Okay, so what are your thoughts? Because I feel like people have just been talking a lot about the race play and the like kinks that are going on in this, and how the girl's 19 and Shannon Sharpe is, I believe, 50.
Yeah, she was 20. She was just turning 20. Yeah. Anyways, I think that sadly it's not surprising.
Ew.
It's not surprising. I mean, I know that is a big thing. I like, if we really want to get real, it's like that is a real part of I don't know. I don't even know what you're going to call it, but like it's a real part of the kinkish sphere. I don't know if you want to call it, but it's like, it's just sick. And it's just like, okay, like we need to really break down this in therapy, because why is that so attractive to you that you want to be like reduced down to your race? And this is like to go as far as, name calling like, somebody an N-word with a hard R. Like, there are Black men that really like that for some reason. And I have seen like on Reddit and stuff, like there's been, like the sex worker girlies are just like, I have like a Reddit, they're just like, yeah, like I will not, like, like if they're like doing phone sex, it's like, I will not do that. Like, I'm not whatever. But that is being requested a lot.
Really?
Yes, on both sides, for sure. Like, for sure. Like
both sides, meaning there are
white men to Black women that want to like call them the N-word.
Oh my God.
Yes, wow. Or the other way around with white men calling them that.
Wow. I'm like, it's interesting because I feel like those text messages made me just think like, if she's texting him that kind of shit, I can't imagine the shit he's saying to her to make it comfortable that this can be entered into the conversation. I would not be surprised if he's talking about like, take my Black da da da, and like, it's just like he's also
that's not even
disappointing.
A question. Though,
it's disappointing because it's not just like the white person or the non-Black person letting us down or being racist. It's also the Black person in this situation creating a safe space for the non-Black person to feel comfortable speaking that type of language.
Yes, that is.
He's a coon for that.
Alexis, that is a lot of people. I know. I mean, that is mild. It's like talking about, you better take this big Black, you know what? It's like, that is...
Make a big Black baby. That girl wants a
okay,
Black baby.
Big Black baby is like where you fucking cross the line. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, and that's where it's like, okay, there's a lot going on right now. Like, you're not just talking about this man. You're talking about a baby? The baby? That
it's shocking that wasn't a turn off to him. Like, it's like,
obviously he likes that because she said it multiple times.
And what is the kink with like, and I feel like we've kind of talked about this where like women feel chosen by like men who come in them. But it's funny because I've asked some straight friends about this, and they've been like, I do not feel that like way at all. I'm like, terrified of getting pregnant. But like, it's interesting because like, but it seems like between both of them, there's this like fetish of like you said, breeding, where it's like this fetish of like, well, maybe I'll come in you, maybe you will.
Alexis,
like, it's like, it's
stop
weird
saying that.
Sorry,
it just
maybe I'll whatever in you, and it's like, I feel like that's strange.
It is strange, but it's not strange when you're talking about
what's the kink though.
Listen,
the fear of pregnancy.
I think it's the willingness. I think it's the compliment. Like, I'm telling you, Alexis, like if you go like to where like sex Twitter is, or what is it, Twitter porn, I don't know what to call it. If you go on that side, they're like girls that are just like, you better not pull out, like, like that is a normal, and like that's something that people are saying often in their promotions to
wow
like
okay.
Like, tell me like that you wouldn't, or like, like yeah, like, because, and I think it's like that. I think it's for the girls' part, I feel like it's a validation. For the guy's part, I feel like it's like,
maybe validation for him too.
Yes, validation that you want her, like,
right.
Like she's willing to do all this. And also just like, I'm sure it feels nice to finish where you started, So it's just gross. It's gross that this 50-year-old man
talking like this to a 19-year-old.
To a 19-year-old.
It
is sick. And that's like, you really need some help. Like,
yeah,
bro,
therapy.
Like, you need help. Like, there's no way that you're being talking to. Why would you ever, like, and you can't tell me that, like,
this girl just got out of high school.
Yes, there's like weird dynamics that are going on when you are 50 and there's communication. There was an audio that got dropped where he's like, don't say that, I'm going to choke the shit out of you or whatever. And it's like,
power.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, like, the fact that you're talking to somebody in this way, like, you talking to a young white girl right now, like, you are playing with your life. Like,
but what's like, I just really would love to bring up like an older man on here, because I'm just like, what is attractive about a fucking 19-year-old? Like, when I think about a 19-year-old, I think of like crusty, dusty, gross, like just getting out, like, like still growing. Like,
I don't know, Alexis.
What is so sexy about that?
I mean, men,
it's gross.
I don't know. I don't think, like we've said again on this podcast, like, I don't think we will understand. I do feel like, I think the porn industry, like, I really do feel like that rots people's minds. Like, the type of stuff that is popularized and normalized in the sex, like, porn industry is like, it's not all of it, but like a lot of it is gross. Like, I know, like, there's like a whole thing about like, your stepdad, and like, yes, Alexis, that is a normal, not normal, but I'm just saying a normalized kink that is in all types of different porns across the board. And so, like, if you're watching or engaging in it, that's a lot of what you're seeing. Like, that's a lot of what you're seeing. That's a lot of, like, I guess, is what is desired. I mean, there's definitely old ass men and young girls in these porns. Like, and then you're wealthy and you can, like, make that a reality. Like, that is what makes me, like, it's just gross. It's just sad because it goes from, like, it's just bad. It's bad all around. I don't know. Like, as I was telling someone,
was like, 50-year-old talking like that through text message. Like, how embarrassing.
Yes,
like,
it is embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. Like,
it is embarrassing.
You still want to have sex at 50, whatever. But letting a 19-year-old talk crazy like that on your phone, exactly, is just embarrassing.
And then replying, and
you're probably saying something to
sending
egg that
those
shit
money,
on,
sending
like,
that
we're
money.
gonna have a baby. Like, girl, what?
I'm like, and just like, send her that money. She's sending
25 each
25K each week. Like, that's why she's saying, okay.
Is that not embarrassing that you're paying for sex, damn near?
Well, and that gets us into where I think, and whatever, I think that everybody is in some ways, like, men are paying for sex. Like, no matter if it's your girlfriend or if it's your, like, if it's all the way to sex work. Like, I think that's why it's not so far-fetched that he probably doesn't feel like he's, paying for sex. He feels like he's tricking on a girl and, like, buying her bags and blah, blah, blah. And this is like, no, like, you're paying for sex. You're paying for this experience. You're paying to keep this person around. Do you think
she would still have sex with him and talk to him like that if she didn't get anything out of it? Besides literally just, like, hanging out with him?
Alexis. No. And like, who knows? There's levels to this.
That would be devastating to my self-esteem. I'm sure there's a
Shannon.
Get somebody.
I'm sure there's a Shannon Sharpe, because I don't want to say that, because I'm sure there's a Shannon Sharpe right now in freaking, I'm gonna even say in PG County, that's old and that's, like, out here, quote unquote, tricking on, like, not having much to offer. But still, like, that's my thing is like what I'm realizing is just like there's somebody that is willing to deal with it. Like I don't know about this loneliness epidemic because most men that I be seeing are involved with somebody or have somebody on their line because somebody's gonna be willing to deal with it.
I'm still
And
laughing
men
at.
just have so much to unpack. Lord.
Oh my god, yeah. Like just the desire for damn near almost minor aged women, young women, or we'll say kids at that point. Like the power dynamics, and then also just these kinks, because I'm just like, I don't understand. I'm laughing at you calling it the breeding kink, but I'm just like, she was so pressed to
That's
have
what
these
it
fucking
is,
his fucking
Alexis.
babies, damn near begging to have his fucking babies.
Because I'm telling you, that is it. Like besides the sorry, besides the like, the race play and stuff, that's a little bit more, under the surface, but that like don't pull out type shit, that is like mild. That is mild stuff that's like happening.
It's sad, but I'm curious to see where this goes. But I feel like it exposed, like, yeah, thank you, Julia. It exposed like many things, but I feel like one of it is that like he has some weird ass internalized trauma with his
Not just
blackness,
him, so
where
many
he's
people.
like, keeps like using the black baby and the black sorry, gravy, and
my mom could not listen to this.
Yeah, tell her not to listen.
She's not gonna end up saying. But yeah, I think that it is. I'm just learning more and more every day that like what men, like where men are at in comparison to women. Yeah, it's just like this isn't surprising. I'm at a point where it's just like I will never praise a man too much. Like I will be waiting for the other shoe to drop, sadly, because it's just like I can't tell you the amount of times where like before I like had this, this kind of awakening, like I would be like telling Alexis, like, oh, like, like, did you watch the Cat Williams like thing? And Alexis like, I don't want to watch, like, like I don't like he's like weird, he's corny, whatever. And I'm like, oh no, like, it's a cool show, whatever. And it's just like, and then he's this disgust, like, I just am at a point where men, again, just like kind of like my theory that they need to all start in a facility away from women. Like they need to, it would like, I'm not going to put it past them that most of them are this gross. Like,
and I'm just like, what is their, I don't know. There's just so many questions about the relationship, because I'm like, the people I dated, I've never just texted them random shit like that back to back. You know what I'm saying?
Alexis, like, that's what it is. Like that, it's sex, it's money, it's these like immature, like talk, like having somebody to talk to, even if it's in an immature way. Like they like that like drama. That's the thing. They like the drama. Like they don't want it to just be like, oh, like, I'm bringing you peace. No, they want to like feel like, some tension in their chest, I guess, about it's just so 50. Embarrassing because it's like you could like I could see maybe if it was a woman that's older enough that's like, oh, like she has like real things going on. It's like, what can a 19-year-old have going on?
You just want like this is like, I know this is like vulgar to say, but it's like I feel like the only draw is like that they're tight down there, and that like,
but even
that they have a good body, like, because you're not offering anything else.
But even that is like just such a myth, and it's just so like it's just all so gross, and it's weird because, and this I feel like can get into like our next topic. Because I feel like women, we have played into this, and it's like it's hard to like I feel like there's some women that are just like they accept it, they capitalize off of it, which I feel like is low-key the smartest way to deal with these. Because like, you know, they're not gonna see them for more than what they are. And I'm not trying to like dehumanize men, but it's just like there's a certain point with them, I feel like, that they are not thinking like, I don't know, but sorry, I'm like kind of all over the place.
I feel like the consensus is like literally like I just refreshed my Twitter page. This is the first thing I see. Shannon Sharpe is a 50-plus-year-old man, and that girl was 19 when they met in 2023, younger than his youngest kid.
Ew.
He's a mess, and I don't feel bad for him. He had no business doing that. And I feel like the general consensus for the Black community is like, he had fucking no business talking to this girl in any kind of way.
And guess what? There's a lot of scared men out there today.
But how do you? Sorry, and like that's why I'm like, we just need to get a man on here. But let's after I say this, let's transition to the next topic. But it's just like, how do you like talk about this with your kid, or like even like rationalize this in your mind or with your friends or family when you have to admit that you're fucking someone who is younger than your youngest kid? It makes it seem like though you could sexualize them if you're able to sexualize somebody that young. Does that make sense? Sure. It's like, how do you rationalize that? How do you rationalize that with like your friends, with family friends, with your kids, when like you have to admit that you're having sex with someone younger than your youngest kid who is young as well?
I mean, like, I'm sure Shannon Sharpe Shannon Sharpe is like, I need help. Like that is what he said. Those are the conversations that he's having now. Yes, those are like, he needs to get back to God. Like, I'm gonna work on myself. Like, those are the conversations that he's having with his kids. Sadly, you know, the impression that it makes on the kid is like, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You know, hopefully they don't internalize it too much, but it's hard not to. Especially when you get to a certain age and you're like, what the fuck was that? You know? And it's just like, he has to accept that people see him like this, and no matter whether it was like, it's just like, it's a shame that he was even in this situation. Like, you shouldn't even be in this situation. And like I said, I'm sure there's a lot of men that are tightening up today because they're like, oh shit, like, but it's not gonna last for long. They're gonna get sloppy again, like these men do, and they can't help it.
Let's move on. I'm disgusted. What's the other thing that was on trial? I completely forgot.
Another gross man. That couple that was.
Oh my god. Okay.
DearWifey podcast.
Yes.
I think.
Okay. So
which I never even really heard of until this.
Do you want me to speak on this? Or?
Yeah, please tell us about this, Alexis.
Okay. So they were on Pastor Reggie and Kelley Steele were on the DearFutureWifey podcast. And for people unfamiliar with them, they're just Pastor Reggie Steele is a like popular, famous pastor. He frequently has his wife there. Sometimes when he does his sermons, like
it's funny because I don't know nothing about him.
He frequently has his wife there at some of his sermons, talking about like how to be a wife and supporting men, and you know, just things that are problematic. But they recently came like really viral because they were on the Dear Future Wifey podcast talking about their marriage, and you know, basically, I believe they came to this podcast thinking like, we're going to share our story of our marriage and people are going to think like couple goals and stuff like that. But instead they shared their story of their like path to getting to where they are today, which is, I'm going to assume, possibly happily married, to the point where they had to turn the comments off in their page because people were making comments like, "May this love never find me," and things like that. So basically they get on there and she's talking about how basically from the day they got together, he was like cheating on her. He told her like, you know, you're my number one. Like, I love you. And I like the others. You always be my number one. And she was okay with that because she was like, you know what? I'm his number one. And then
did you also hear how like she told him that like she like wasn't her type? And like, did you hear all that stuff?
No, but you I just want to make sure you can add that, No, but you can add to that. You can add to that.
Yes, he was like, she's not the color that I like. She's not this. Yes. Like literally everything about her.
And so like
I wouldn't usually go for her.
So he basically was cheating their whole, especially the beginning of the marriage, and she said that God gave her grace to like there's power to the tongue. So every day she would say like, he's going to love me. This marriage will work. We're going to have a happily marriage one day. And she would iron his clothes as he prepared to like go out and hang out with his side chicks and not come home at night. And she would just manifest and talk about like, one day he's going to love me. I'm going to be his perfect wife. And she kind of talked about how God graced her to do that.
And I had a radical heart shift from that moment. I got in my word, under my word. I just completely changed as a person. And I realized that God loves me, that God has a purpose and plan for my life, that God chose me, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Yeah. So he would call me out my name. It wouldn't bother me because I allowed God's voice to be louder than his. And when I was going through transition of him not coming home on the weekends, not being there, telling me I hate you, I'll never love you, I wish I never married you, I knew that life and death is in the power of the tongue through the word of God. So I would say, you will love me one day. We will have a good marriage one day. And although he would go out for weekends, I would literally help him get ready to go meet a side chick by ironing his clothes and getting him ready for the night. And these are all things I was graced to do. I would not encourage anybody to do that unless you are graced by God to do this.
And eventually they weathered the storm and now they're happily married. And thinking like couple goals and giving a type of sermon of like, sometimes you have to weather the storm and you got to do what you got to do. So they have rightfully so been just like completely like trolled on TikTok and Twitter because people are just like, this is not like a good, like that type of struggle. You should not want that type of struggle and humiliation to be, you shouldn't be promoting that because that's actually not good. It's a fucking sin to be cheating. But then second of all, it's like you shouldn't want to be in a position where you're frequently humiliated and like your self-worth is like put down to a drain where you're literally ironing his shirts to go out to cheat on you. He literally and this is not you guys are not couple goals. And he's sitting there on the couch while she's saying this,
Alexis,
like being like, "Yep."
He said, the guy asked him, "So like, what?" I don't remember exactly, but it was like, "So why were you like, entertaining her?" And he's like, "Because she lived down the street." Like he just said that, he literally said that, and then he said.
And she's just smiling, just happy to be chosen. That's the sad part.
Yep. And then she was like, I was cooking him meals, like he was coming over. She's like, I always tell them to like, the weight of a man's stomach is to like, cook for them, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, and she was giving him money. She said that he was like, she was not her type. He was like, I usually like him 125 and 5'2".
She's a little heavier.
She was like, he was like, I usually like a 125 and 5'2". He like said her weight and her height and was like, she's not the color that I like. Like he literally said he was going down the list.
When I met her, she was one.
Don't take much.
But I met her, she was 175. Yeah. Like I said, I'm used to 125 too. Yeah. She 5'6", 175, and she was the wrong color.
Right.
I was used to
He doesn't like her. Nobody that likes your partner is going to say all that out loud.
And then I just feel like, I'm just like, where is the God? Like I hear the woman talking about, how God led her to do all this. No, okay, like ladies, and I know that everybody, I'm hoping that's listening to this podcast knows that a higher power, God, would not ever want you to be
humiliated and your self-worth to be in hell. Like
in hell.
He wants you to have dignity. He wants you to have integrity. He wants you to have respect. And I'm just
sad.
And he wants a love that honors you. And I'm just like, the fact that literally he is sitting there as a pastor being like, yep, as she's telling the sermon, like chuckling,
laughing.
And literally the man who's interviewing them is like acting as though like, wow, I can't believe you overcame this, like y'all are a couple goals. And I'm just like, this is my thing. I feel like there's always like, especially with like Christian, super Christian, conservative, possibly like trad wife content, is that there's always this like struggle in the marriage that ends up being like disrespectful or humiliating. And there's this romanticizing of it where it's just like, like we were going through a hard time, he didn't want to talk to me, like just something crazy. Like he didn't want to talk to me. He left the home for a couple weeks and God talked to us. It's like, that is not a good thing you should be promoting. It's actually unhealthy communication, crossing of boundaries, no respect. But I feel like it's very common in like conservative Christian trad wife things. But I also think maybe that's because there is this like centering and honoring of the man as if he is the prize. So you will literally endure and do whatever you want, like whatever you need to do because you want this prize, rather than the woman being a prize at all.
Is going to trigger a lot of women. They're going to look at it like, see, that's that struggle love they're talking about. I don't want it.
Right.
I don't want the struggle love. I don't want to have to deal with a man that has to go through all that and me lower my standard, lower my value for a man to be in this broken state, disrespectful, calling me out my name, parading women in front of me, and then I'm going to pray for his deliverance and pray, no, God, I need the reformed man. What would you say to the women that may be looking at this and say, see, that's that nonsense they talking about?
Well, I would say that's why you're single still.
And it's definitely modeled that way. It's also like women are, there's this real narrative that like being single and old is just like the worst possible thing that could ever happen, or older. It's like the worst possible thing, and like you lose all your value at that point. And I think that all of these narratives like hold up just our patriarchal society, these things that benefit men, because all of the focus is on her learning how to forgive or her being able to live with this, and he out here just like, oh yeah, like she took me back. And but that's what I like. That again leads me to like, there's always a woman out there that is willing to deal with it, and it's like, but my thing is like, I'm happy that women are getting to a point where it's just like, I don't want somebody that would be, like I don't need any parts.
Like the whole narrative of like, I'm gonna hold you down, I'm a ride or die. It's like, I'm happy that like, I feel like in 2025, people are kind of being like, I don't want that. Like, I feel like I think about like, the cater to you and how people are like look at the lyrics and they're like no, or even like rather die young, people listen to lyrics and they're like would not over a man. And it's just like people are really thinking about this like I don't know, the narrative of being like a Bonnie and Clyde, ride or die, da, da, da. It's like, it's actually not attractive anymore. We've grown up past that.
I hope so. Like, I feel like I do feel like we are, like, I'm learning that, like, the conversations on TikTok are not happening everywhere. Like, there are people in those comments that are like, yes, like I am going through the same thing, right? Like, like there are people that are like eating this up and watching it and like, really applying it to their life. There's people that are not consuming. Like, that's something I realized was like the decentering men and just really getting a real look. Like, I don't even know how many stories I had, like story times by women. There's just been a combination of things that have like been like, okay, like this is what it really looks like. And then obviously my own experience, but I feel like I've gotten to this awakening, and it's like there's a lot of people that are not, like, even like friends and stuff. Like, there are people that are not in this universe of like, decentering men.
Yeah, I mean, it's
which
funny,
is okay, I guess. Like, like, but I just feel like women. I feel like if we're gonna get anywhere, we gotta like.
I mean, yeah, it's just like you have to have self-worth. You have to have an identity outside of your relationship or just like the person you like. And you also have to consider yourself a prize. Like, this is not the ultimate goal in life, is to be married. Like, you should not, like, you need to have, it needs to be better. It needs to be deeper. And you need to also consider yourself the prize. Because I feel like the women that are okay with putting themselves in this, like, humiliation spot are probably women who consider their partner to be, like, the ultimate prize. So it's like,
these men are not going to do that for you, okay?
Like, I mean, he literally was listing off the things he didn't like about her. Yeah. He had her ironing her. Like, can you imagine how she felt once he put on his fucking clothes and left after she ironed it and she's home all alone? Like,
and men stand up for other men. Like, that is why men, like, time after time, these men continue to get platformed or not go anywhere. Like the whole free Tory thing. Like, there are men that protect men. And I feel like women, we need to wake up and like, oh yeah, this was another thing I was going to say. It's also just like, it's pick me territory. And then there's like a free woman, I feel like, because just even like off of the sex work industry, because I feel like it always parallels to real life. In the Reddits, they're like, don't price yourself too low, like for different services or whatever, because like if it's per minute or whatever, like don't be putting 75 cents out there, because now everybody's going to be going to that and like lowering everybody's worth or demand, because you're selling this for so cheap, So again, there's some type of sense, there's some type of respect. Like, you never see 75 cents on there. You're gonna see 150, or something that's reasonable for a minute or whatever. What I'm saying though is just like, when it comes to like sex work, I just feel like it's more real and realistic about the exchange sometimes. And
it's completely transactional. You get what you get. There's no like,
and there's other women that are just like, don't like sell yourself so low, because then it's going to put all of us at like a deficit.
That's a good point.
There's more solidarity too. And even in the sex work community, I feel like that is all about like, just like, they have to support each other. They have to like post other people's stuff, and like that's how they get posted and stuff. So it's just like, I don't know, man. I think that I'm just learning to not expect a lot from.
And just men. Like, really, you have to be secure in your own self before you're with someone, because you will lower and lower and lower your bar, because you are not the prize to yourself, but they are. So just, you won't do anything to get them. And I feel like this is that. She was at the point where she thought that God was telling her to basically, be okay with cheating and humiliation and just keep speaking. She kept saying there's power in the tongue, so just keep speaking. Like, he will love me one day, we will have a happy marriage, I will be the girl of his dreams. And it's just like, and the thing is this, yes, you got the man, but I would be willing to bet you got him because he's now old as shit. You know what I'm saying? Or he couldn't find anybody else, like, or that you're still there and you're just always going to be there. Who knows if he's still not doing this,
Exactly.
But
I mean, yes, they get to the point where it's just like, whatever, like, she's here to take care of me.
Right. You just have to see yourself as the prize first. And I know that can be very hard when you're really excited about someone and you really like them and it's a big crush, but you have to, because you'll end up just lowering your bar eventually.
But it's also just like, I'm telling you, you have to have a certain mindset dealing with men. Like I saw somebody on on TikTok, I don't know what person posted this, they were just like, dealing with a man is like inherently dangerous. Like, there is some risk of just like, there's just some risks that come into like dealing with a man. Yes. And it's just like, so you have to be really, you have to have a real type of level of discernment.
Yeah.
And the more and more I see women that are just like, just seeing men for like who they are right now, it's not saying that they can't ever change, and it's not saying like all men, but they are just, I don't know. It's just sad. Honestly, it's like the pygmies make me more mad than the men sometimes. Because what the fuck you mean you're ironing his clothes to go cheat on you because God said so? Like,
girl,
come on now.
She
that
will do
sounds
anything to keep the man. That's what it
and
is.
And sadly, like, I do feel like, the Christian church and like, it is definitely cult behavior, like it is.
I mean, there's just this centering and just really privileging of the marriage and so it's like you do anything to save the marriage. And I feel like that message always ends up like basically privileging the man because it's just like, well, forgive whatever he does, you know? Why? And you know, take on the trauma. If he hits you, he hits you. If, you know, whatever. And it's just like, and it's just like, there, to me, it's just like, there's a lot of relationships in my life that are very meaningful to me. And, I just can't see a world that, in relationships that I've had longer than I have been with Julia. Mm-hmm. And I just can't see a world where all of a sudden those relationships become like less powerful or important to me just because I have a girlfriend. Right. And so I say that to say, like, I do think it becomes a self-worth. It's like, you finally got into this relationship, you really like them. And so now they are the prize. You really can't do that. Like,
yeah,
you just can't.
And you have to know, like something about me too, when I start to date again, it's just like, okay, I have been in the desert of like, because I haven't been like dating, whatever. I've been in the desert of like, you know, getting attention, getting physical touch or whatever. So like, I need to know that going out there. It's just like, okay, girl, like, you might just be super pressed because you just have gotten a hug from a man for the first time in a long time. And it's like, you know, feels great. Mm-hmm. So there's that. And fuck, there was so much I was going to say while you were talking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's going to feel like a rush and really interesting. And like, you get those like butterfly feelings and it's so fun. But yeah, you have to, keep your 2 feet on the ground, as you say. Like, you have to know that you're the prize at the end of the day.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say the other thing that has been changing my whole view I love the side of TikTok with the older women. There's like granny that is telling them.
What are they doing?
They're just like, should I get married? They're like, you're going to have to really know, like, you know, just like, 'cause you never know. Like, they're just like, and then basically like people in the comments were like, like, you basically just like screamed like, hell no.
I think a lot of people, and I mean, I'm not married, so married folks, you talk to us, but I think a lot of people like romanticize marriage and then they get in and it's probably a little bit of a reality check. I'm not saying it's not enjoyable. I'm sure it's fantastic for some people, but I'm saying like, I'm sure, you know, there's still growing pains.
Hell yeah. I mean, just, marriage, divorce.
Y'all know we're a pro-divorce podcast. We can't keep talking about it.
That's just so like, stressful. Like, she was like, I might as well just date you. You know, it was like, why are we making this more stressful? Obviously, you know, at some point it gets to like, you know, you're my partner. You're my, what do they call it? When they're like,
what, fiance?
No, when you're like with somebody for a really long time and it's like you get to like
common law.
Yes. Like, you know, at certain points it's like, you know, who has say in your life or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Marriage just seems like, why these days?
Mm-hmm. But I think
what do you think about it? I'm just curious
about
what you think about just marriage right now. Like, I feel like you're, you know, marriage is like in your arena. Like, do you feel like it's a worthwhile thing to do?
I don't know about I don't think I can talk about worthwhile because I'm not in it, but I'll say,
or like a reason, like I want to do this.
You know, I think people do it for a lot. I think people really, I mean, I think for some people it's very symbolic, right? They want the symbolism. I think a lot of like very religious conservative people, like, it's more about the symbolism. They could care less about like, you know, like the assets and the like paperwork and the like, you know, the things that you just like, you know, the benefits you get. And then I think for some people, it's just like the necessary step and they've always wanted a wife or husband. And so it's just like, you know, what they think about when they think about family and it's picture perfect. So they do it. And I just think, I don't know, like, I mean, I feel like it's like the next step in most main, you know, of how they show us in like TV, magazines. So it's like that, you know, people do it with the person. Timing's everything, right? So they do it with the person that's the timing aligns. I think, so that's what I think about it. So yeah.
Okay. I want to see if you can hear this and then I'm going to let you go.
It's not to get married. I don't know. I really don't. You would have to really know him for a while. because even though with you knowing them, like I know mine for 50 years, they always get out of control. Never. You never know a man. They are, and you have to know who you getting, and you gotta really know the person, because they get abuses after they get used to you.
It's just like so funny.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, but like that's the type of stuff that I be hearing. It's like she might as well have said hell no in capital letters. Like, girl, no. Marrying a man. That is the thing. Because we started here with Shannon Sharpe. Okay. Anyways, y'all, thank you for listening. We are going to have a really awesome Beehive Buzz episode coming out soon.
We're so excited.
We're going to be getting into the Queen's birth chart because we have, a real, reason to believe that we have a confirmed birth time and we can read her chart. So we're going to be talking about that. Stay tuned and go check out the website. And send us topics. Send us some email email some topics, y'all. We love you. We'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to email us your discussion topics at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to Who Am I to Judge podcast on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcast. If you love us, please rate us and review. And if you don't, leave us alone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. See y'all next week. Bye, friends.